Tonight, a Macon mom says she's beyond frustrated with the Bibb County Sheriff's Office about a lack of communication after her son was killed in a hit-and-run last year. You may remember our previous More Than a Number story on Jaxon Bilbrey. This weekend marks 5 months since he was killed. Now, there's a new investigator on the case. Solene Arif spoke with Jaxon's mom about the change.
If you haven't been to Washington Park lately, you may have missed this. It's a memorial tree made from Jaxon Bilbrey's ashes.
Such a neat little thing here.
It's a red maple tree that the county planted for his mom, Billy Bilbrey. They say a mother's love never dies. It just keeps growing, like this red maple.
And I talk to him. I tell him my woes. And he listens. And he tells me to get up and keep on going.
She kept going to find justice for her son, who was killed on Emory Highway while walking home from downtown Macon. She says the original investigator on the case called her once in almost 5 months.
I text him at least every week, sometimes twice a week, and he just would not respond. I would try to call him, and his voicemail was always full.
Now, the last place Bilbrey was at before he died was here at Kinjo for a karaoke night, and I called the owner to see if an investigator had reached out to her to ask any questions about that night, and she said nobody had.
I went down to the sheriff's department, and they wouldn't even let me see the investigator.
Not sure what else to do, she emailed Sheriff David Davis last week about the lack of communication. The next day, she got a new investigator who apologized for that and for this.
Doesn't look like there's been any progress at all on any investigation at all.
She wishes it was investigated more while the case was still fresh. But today, she's hoping another holiday won't go by without knowing who killed her son.
I have to have new hope. If I don't have hope, then I'm giving up, and I can't give up.
They say a mother's love never dies. And this mom says you can say the same thing about hope. Reporting in Macon, Solene Arif, 13W MAZ News.
Yesterday, the Bibb County Sheriff's Office sent out a news release asking for the public's help in collecting information about the case. Now, that came after we contacted them Tuesday requesting an interview on this case, but we didn't receive one. If you know what happened to Jaxon Bilbrey, call the Sheriff's Office at 478-751-7500.